Good morning. Good morning. It is 8:01. How's it 8:01? 8 a.m. on Friday, April 11th, 2025. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the stream. My name is Keith. I will be your guide today. I've been a professional developer for over 30 years, and I created the stream as a place to hang out for people who are in the tech job market, trying to find a job and need somebody to hang out with in the mornings when they're getting their job applications out. So we're going to be looking at job trends in the market. We're also going to be looking at some of the news that happens to affect us potentially in the tech market, in the tech sphere. But welcome, welcome. It is Friday. It is the end of the week. Any plans for the weekend? Feel free to jump in the chat and add to the conversation. Keep an eye on that. And I'm happy to redirect to any questions you may or may not have about working in tech, about being a developer, about looking for a job, any and all those topics. I have a couple of things to say about them, and it might be useful to you. So feel free to hijack the conversation. If you know anybody who is in the job market and could use a pal to hang out with when they're getting those job applications out, feel free to share it with them. We are streaming live Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube, on Twitch, on LinkedIn. So let's just jump into it. Every morning I check the job numbers. I get up, I do some searching, and these charts are the result. These three charts show what happened in the last 7 days, what happened in the last 6 months, and what happened in the last year, and essentially the internet job market. We can see in the last week, slight bit of downturn, but it did pop up just a tad, just a smidge today. We've been talking about this for weeks now, but the uncertainty in the market has caused a lot of hiring freezes, a lot of circling the wagons, not the growth that we had hoped and expected. Excuse me. When we look at the last 6 months, our numbers are down. We look at the last year, our numbers are way down from where we were last year, considerably down. Those are not good news. That is headwinds that we would rather not be dealing with right now. There's a lot been said about kind of what the current administration is doing and the downstream second order effects of that. But the biggest one is really just companies, business, the markets like stability. They like to be able to make forecasts that seem reasonable. They like to think that they know how the future is going to turn out. And when they have that sense of certainty, they're more likely to add people to the ranks, grow, add new features, develop new products. All that helps in the hiring space. But since the inauguration and since our current president got out his pen and started signing a bunch of presidential executive orders, there's been a lot of uncertainty in the market. And we, from where we're sitting, if you're unemployed, if you got laid off, I have two friends, one who got laid off and the other has a threat of being laid off because of a return to office order that looks like he'll have a job through the end of the year, but they've set a deadline for return to office there. Unless that changes, he's going to be unemployed and out of work just in time for Christmas, I think. That sounds like a great Christmas gift. Okay. So let's We have a more granular version of that. Those were just sort of overall entry-level numbers. This first chart here, which started the data for these sets of graphs started on the first of the year. So we've got 4 months worth of 3.5 months worth of data. And we can see that started off great coming out of the holidays and then flattened as soon as the inauguration kicked in. And it's just been flat. This is all the overall the numbers for the job postings for JavaScript developers, which is a good indicator of where the web is going in terms of programmers. The red line is remote work. If we break it down to entry level, mid level, and senior level developers roles, we can see that they've all been flat, but the most considerable number there is mid level roles. If you are a mid level developer, you're going to have a lot more options out there. Or if you're a senior level developer, you're going to have plenty of options if you want to take a pay cut. Which, as a bunch of people who are back in the job market are starting to find out, you got to put food on your family somehow, as our president used to say. Not our current president. So, we got these headwinds. These are things that are out of our control. But as I say regularly on this channel, the thing we can control is getting up in the morning, getting a caffeinated beverage, filtering for the last 24 hours of new job postings, and getting those job postings out. Getting to the top of that stack, getting your resume seen, getting your LinkedIn seen, catching somebody's eye, and getting that phone call. That's what we want to do. We can't control how the market's going to play out. We can't control tariffs. We can't control any of that stuff, but we can control getting up and putting in all that effort, getting out all those job applications. You can as much of a grind as it is, you can stop as soon as you get that job offer. I spent a considerable amount of my time checking in on LinkedIn. That's where the job world in tech sort of tends to hang out. That's where recruiters look for people. That's where people first see you when you connect with them. They also have this great news feed. Excuse me. So let's look at some of the news there. In this back and forth push and pull of the tariff war that we're in the middle of right now, China reacted to the reaction of the reaction and reacted with more tariffs. So now we're going to have a harder time selling goods in China. If you're a company, that's going to put a squeeze on sales and revenue. Again, this in a roundabout way affects us because when revenue's down, hiring is going to be down. They raised the rates in response to our raising of the rates from 84% to 125% starting Saturday. Its Ministry of Finance said it will ignore any further U.S. increases from here, noting even if the U.S. continues to impose higher tariffs, it will no longer make economic sense. It comes after the White House said levies on Chinese goods would reach 145%. The dollar fell again Friday, on track for its worst week since 2022. While stock market futures were a little changed after the trade tensions hit markets again on Thursday. Somebody's got to blink. Who's going to be? I don't know. What are the second order effects of all these tariffs? While the ongoing turmoil surrounding global trade policy has led to many Americans stocking up on essentials, panic buying isn't just for apparel and electronics. According to the Washington Post, in the last few days have seen runs on everything from Korean sunscreen to hair extensions, fragrances, dried seaweed, and instant coffee. Lovers of board games have been particularly proactive in anticipating tariff disruptions, with China responsible for most of the industry's manufacturing. I will give them all of these Korean sunscreen, hair extensions, dried seaweed. I'll give you all of those. But to say that board game lovers rushed out and bought a bunch of board games, um, board game board game lovers, and I'll count myself as one, are addicts. They don't need an excuse to go out and buy. But if they have an excuse, they're going to use it. It's not a real, it's not based on reality. They're just like, oh, you know what? I have to buy these tariffs are going to make it really hard for us to buy games. All those games on my wish list, they're going to go up if I don't buy them right now. I guess I'm going to have to buy them right now. Yeah. Yeah. They're addicts, I say. So, yeah. Are you panic buying at all? I'm not. These hokey pokey tariffs. Are things maybe going to be more expensive in the next year? Probably. But I'm not storing 4 years worth of toilet paper in my garage. LVMH, Texas, cite a cautionary tale. I actually went and read this Reuters report this morning. As countless industries weigh moving production stateside with global trade uncertainty, LVMH has found manufacturing luxury handgoods in the United States easier said than done, according to a Reuters report, citing anonymous sources. Established 6 years ago, the Louis Vuitton Texas factory has been one of the company's worst performing, according to Reuters sources. Some who've also alleged workers cut corners to cover up defects. The ramp up was harder than we thought it would be, said an exec. It's an interesting article. The conclusion basically is we don't have a manufacturing base anymore. And we just don't have a whole bunch of people who, feel are interested in working in sweatshops. And by all, accounts, if you're working with leather, if you're working in manufacturing of these kind of goods, like there's crazy, you're trying to hit crazy quotas. It's not easy work. Leather work is not easy work. If you're not an expert at it, you're prone to make a bunch of mistakes. Those mistakes are costly because the leather goods are not cheap. And they started out by paying $15 an hour. They ramped that up to $17 an hour. But I've got a son who works at a fast food restaurant right now, and he's making basically $17 an hour. And he gets discounts on food. And he doesn't have to work in a sweatshop. And he doesn't have to, develop expertise in leather work. He can just go in. They taught him how to do his job in about a week. He's fully capable of doing that job. And, he's making good money doing that. He's not going to run off and get a factory working job for less money or the same amount of money with the stress added of being in a sweatshop. Yeah. This is there's a certain kind of manufacturing that's just not going to come back to the United States. It just doesn't make any sense. And the fact that they're selling these bags for hundreds of dollars, it's a luxury bag. I'm sure they thought, well, it'll cost us a little bit more to make them here in the United States, but we charge a crazy amount on them anyway. Then let's take a chance. Let's do that. And we got a lot of tax breaks in the process. So they're like, oh, we can make it, it'll cost a little bit more, but we'll get tax breaks and we can put that Made in America logo on it. Maybe we'll sell more in the United States. It ain't that easy. It ain't that easy. That kind of work can't be done by robots. It still has to be hand work. And that, again, hand work takes experience and skill, but there's not paying for that skill commensurate with the kind of expertise that's been developed. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. I mean, I can see if you started out at 17, then like if you hit your quotas consistently, you develop the skills, then you're making $25 or $30 an hour. Then it's like, okay, it's sweatshop work, but it's not a career per se, but it's certainly not fast food work. So it's inside. I don't know, man. That's tough. That's tough. Would you consider going to work in a factory, making luxury goods that they don't pay you enough money to afford? I'm struggling with that one myself. Trump administration push to expand U.S. commercial shipping fleets faces a key obstacle: a shortage of merchant marines. With fewer than 10,000 sailors, the Wall Street Journal reports Trump executive order aims to boost U.S. flagged ships, but recruiting and retaining sailors is tough due to the harsh working conditions. Mariners often spend months away from home, working long hours in physically demanding and isolated environments, making the job less attractive in spite of competitive salaries. Again, things have changed. Things have changed. People have too many options to make money right now, and they don't involve demanding physical work. And it's just going to be hard. It's going to be hard to recruit that. It will be, you just can't snap your fingers and do this kind of stuff. Let's see. Google released a new reasoning AI model. It launched its latest AI-driven reasoning model, Gemini 2.5 Flash, adapted from its most advanced and expensive 2.5 Pro model. The workhorse model has been designed for efficiency and employs dynamic thinking to optimize processing time. Google opted out of publishing a safety or technical report for it due to its experimental status. It arrives amid a slew of new models and subscription tiers from the competition, which appear to be increasing prices as they scale. I haven't played around with this. I watched one video of Matthew Berman playing around. He was very impressed by the model. It wasn't enough. I just have been slow. I've played around with AI Studio, Google's AI Studio, and there were a couple of things that it did that really impressed me. But I've got a workflow that I'm pretty happy with right now, using Anthropic for coding and OpenAI for image generation and text generation, ChatGPT, Midjourney if I want a series of images more than just like a simple logo. I found that ChatGPT is really good for logo work, but Midjourney is really good for a bigger variety of stuff. I don't have any need currently for getting into any kind of image to video stuff. I will be doing that more soon because I'm this weekend hoping to finish the trailer for the game that I'm putting out on Steam. The actual trailer. I put out just like a initial gameplay footage clip Um, and the gameplay changed considerably since I did that. Um, but I got a bunch of work to do this weekend to get the demo in order so I can export I can capture a bunch of video, cut it down to an actual gameplay trailer, which I want to release, fingers crossed, on Monday. Monday's the goal for getting that out. We'll see. It's going to be a long weekend. Unfortunately, I don't have a late night tonight, so I can get a jump on it tonight. We'll see. All right, how are we doing on time? We're doing good. Let's hit a couple more stories here on Google News. Android Auto update. I have not followed that at all. I do not have a car that has Android Auto in it. Gemini in the car is long overdue, and I can't wait to try Android Auto soon. Yeah, I do not have a vehicle with that. I'm not an early adopter of that kind of stuff. I like old, used cars. I'm not a big fan of new cars. Apple fumbled Series AI makeover. iPhone 16 buyers aren't happy. May have a legal problem on its hands. Google releases Android system updates with battery life improvements. Copilot recall. Microsoft rolls out AI screenshot tool. Windows 11's controversial recall feature could soon arrive for Copilot plus PCs. Just hope Microsoft tightening of its privacy is up to scratch. Windows 11's latest I haven't been following this. I'm not sure about what this recall feature is. Set to launch recall for real this time. I'm not sure what that is, but I think I'll read that article and find out what's wrong with Apple. Tim Apple, fix it. Google joins OpenAI in adopting Anthropic's protocol MCP. Are you down with MCP? You know me. You down with MCP? I am down with MCP. I use it every day. Although it's been a while since I went out and looked for new MCP servers. I should probably do that. Not this weekend. I'm going to be working on my demo for my game. Can't be distracted. Got to be heads down. Got to be focused. Got to get the work done. Last of Us complete. We got The Last of Us Season 2 about to drop right around the corner. Anybody excited? I gotta say, I'm less excited. I really love the first season. Clearly, they're changing the second season in regards to the second game, but I'm not as excited. I'm not as hyped about it. Don't get hyped about a whole lot of television series these days. I started watching the third Reacher season, and by the third episode, I was kind of done. My wife finished it, but I don't know. I've lost interest in a lot of the television stuff that goes on. I'm just writing code a lot. Just focus on writing code. Researchers uncovered dozens of sketchy Chrome extensions with 4 million installs. And I'm trying to keep my extensions pretty lean. I don't mess around with too much of that stuff. How are we doing? Okay, we're doing all right. Blueprints. Everybody's talking about it. Fury over rape and incest game that tells player to be woman's worst nightmare. Yikes. Make all women yours. Rape game available for Australian children. That, I'm putting out this game on Steam this year, and so I've been paying a lot of attention to what goes on in the Steam marketplace. And that ghetto of adult games, I've not bought any adult games, even anything that would be considered light adult games. Generally not my kind of thing, but and because I don't buy that kind of stuff, generally it's not suggested to me, but occasionally when you're doing searches for stuff, you'll sort of run across things and you're like, oh, it's some weird like match 3 game with half naked anime girls and stuff, and you're like, okay, whatever that's about. I guess there's an audience for that. But and I guess there's a lot of this kind of JRPG or dating simulators and stuff that have adult content. Seems like a lot of anime-y kind of stuff. But it's just out there. It's just out there like adult, porn shops and stuff. They're kind of in your neighborhood and everybody kind of knows where they are. But they kind of keep to themselves, stay out of everybody's way, and it's just kind of, it goes on over there and everybody kind of knows about it, but nobody makes a big deal about it. But yeah, the rape and incest game, that's probably going to capture a couple of headlines. And it only takes one of those stories to, get everybody scrutinizing. Oh, what else is out there? Now I can get a bunch of clicks by finding some games with sexual violence. There you go. And then, of course, if you're a free speech person, what's your point of view on that? Is it a rape simulator that's training kids to rape women? And we've seen these video game articles since the 80s about violence in video games. It's going to be another round of that. Who knows? Can't be good. Can't be good. Microsoft turns 50. Microsoft turns 50. That doesn't sound right to me. I'll be 57 this year. When I was 7 years old, Microsoft was started? I don't know. That doesn't sound right to me. Seems like it wouldn't be that old. Okay, well, we're getting down to the end of it. All right, so it's time for me to say what I always say on Fridays. Give my spiel. I will not be here tomorrow morning. I will not get up early and start the stream. I will get up early and I will check the job postings because I collect that data every day, Monday through Sunday. And you know who else is going to be up early checking those job postings? It's going to be you. It's going to be you. You are the person who's also going to be up. I won't be there with you hanging out, but we've been doing this together for enough days that you've built that habit. And you are going to get up again on a Saturday. You're going to get up again on a Sunday when most people who aren't as dedicated to finding a job as you are, who will be sleeping in, you're going to be getting up early. You're going to be filtering those jobs for the listings for the last 24 hours, and you're going to get your applications out on Sunday. There won't be as many job applications, but guess what? There won't be as many people applying for it. The people who will see those jobs will see them on Monday morning, and you will already have your application in at the top of the stack, right? If we want that extra reward, we have to put in that extra work. And that's the way we do it. We look for ways to stand out from the crowd. And an easy one is just to keep this rhythm going. Getting up in the morning, grabbing a caffeinated beverage, hit those job boards, and get those job applications out every day, twice a day if you can, right? We want to put in the work. Put in the work that it takes. You've developed all these skills that make you valuable to a company. Now you need to put the same amount of work in to get on the radar of those companies. All right. So here we go. I will not be back until Monday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Again, if you're late in joining the stream, my name is Keith. I broadcast Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time from Austin, Texas. And this is the place to hang out when you're getting those job applications out. I am your application sending out buddy. If you know anybody who could benefit from a stream, from somebody to hang out with, please share this stream with them. I broadcast on YouTube, on Twitch, and on LinkedIn. And if you would like to connect with me on LinkedIn, please use the QR code that's on the screen right now and connect with me. I'm always looking to grow my network of developers and open to meeting some new ones. So reach out. Have a great week.